couple things I wanted to show you that we didn't cover last night, just making sure everyone knows what they're doing. If you're over here in the course home, when you come down here on the course home, you were supposed to have checked this out during the first week because I said check out the website and check out the course shell. Right here you can find the two spreadsheets that we're using in this class, the Clash Royale spreadsheet and the student data spreadsheet. You'll use those for week one, then eventually I'll move those over to StatCrunch to make them easier to find for you. But right now, for all your assignments for week one, you need to go to the Clash Royale spreadsheet or the student data spreadsheet. You can also see that you have access to all of the course syllabus, the assignments by due dates. If you want to learn how to play Clash Royale, you can do there. Here's a Clash Royale introduction. I sort of explain what's going on. And then here's, the rest of the items that you can access for our course. So again, that is in course home week one. Or excuse me, course home in week one. I told you need to take the survey. Some of you all created some issues in the survey because of the way you answered questions. This is a learning experience, but at this point in time, I will tell you that you made the data harder to manipulate. So I'm just going to look at the student data spreadsheet. So we're going to open this up. And some of y'all started to type in answers that, like right here, for example, how much water do you drink a day? Approximate ounces. There's a lot of people who did not put a number. They just put words. And you can't really run a qualitative test, or excuse me, a quantitative test when people put in qualitative values. Like over here, how big is your friend group? Pretty big. I had 3 different friend groups. Those numbers caused some issues. Also, like this particular person, they put in 138 students. No problem putting the unit, but you see how it doesn't match up a lot of the other things. And some people turned around, and I've already corrected some of those issues here. We're coming over here. How many hours are you taking this semester? We have some answers like this. Okay, so it's really hard to sit down and to run a test when the answers are not being given the way they should. So, like for example, right here it says specifically what club activity are you in. If you're in multiples, answers the one that requires the most time. But then we have people turning around and answering with multiple events. And for example, this is a whole collection of multiple things, and I've corrected some of these from the other people, but there's like people are putting in multiple things. Also, how many hours are you taking this semester? That should be like your courses. So if you are taking 5 courses and each course is 3 hours, then this number should be 15, 16. So if you're a full-time student, this should be somewhere between 12 and 18 hours. Okay. So if you're taking 5 courses this semester, then this should be 7. There's no way this could be 7, because if your course is 3 hours, number should be 15. Plus this direction right here, how many combined hours do you feel you will spend in class plus time out of class doing work? 10 to 12 hours. I mean, that's how long you're going to be spending in class alone. This particular person said 280 hours. That's more time than there is in a week. There's only 168 hours in a week, but yet somehow you are going to be spending 280 hours. So those are just little things that make data collection a little bit harder. This particular person says they're going to spend 6 hours in class, but 2.5 hours total in class and out of class. So you can see how data collection can cause some issues. I'm going to go back to some of these things. I'm going to give some correction to these. Otherwise, we cannot use those data pieces in what we're doing. Don't worry, I am going to hide the information of who turned around and filled out that information for you. But you can see as we go through a whole collection of these data, like this one right here is going to possibly give us an issue because it has a comma. Now, I'm just telling you this because it makes it a little bit more challenging when you try to manipulate data, that you need things in the correct format to use in a computer. Okay, so the Clash Royale spreadsheet, if you click on the Clash Royale spreadsheet from here, this one has everything. Let me zoom out a little bit here. This thing has everything you need. I've collected it all up. You have all the cards right here. Coming down on the left-hand side, you can see the rarities. You can see all of the information here. We have the hit point levels at hit point level 9, 11, and 14. We have the damage levels here. We have the damage per second. We have area damage, charge, dash damage, death damage, so on and so forth. If you play Clash Royale, you know what I'm talking about here. This is the elixir column that you can use, and basically this is all the information you can get from the card. Later, we have some different battles uses different sets of cards, and I've already separated them up for us. pulled out what you need, so that'll make it a little bit easier when we go back to that course. So just as a reminder of what you're doing this week, we are in week 2. I have corrected the link for week 2. So you have to do the My Math Lab, okay? The My Math Lab section right there. That homework is due by Sunday. And then due by Monday, you have data analysis. So when you go to the data analysis, the link should be corrected now. And right here, you should be able to choose, am I doing student data assignment 1? And there's the data template. That's the slideshow. So if you click on this now, you should be able to go to your slideshow. The first thing you should do is file, make a copy of the entire presentation, and then you'll have your own copy. Sharing it with me would be good, but you should organize that data however you wish to on your Google Drive. But there's your student assignment 1 with your student data template. Right here is your Clash Royale assignment 1 with your Clash Royale template. No matter which one you choose, when you click on it, it'll basically tell you what it is you're covering for the week, what it is we did. Then right here is basically going to walk through and say, these are the assignments you need to do. In part 1, you're going to do basically this information. Part 2 is this information, so on and so forth. Remember that roughly 10% of your grade is just based on, do I make my presentation goods? Do I take the time to make it look presentable? When we go to this slideshow, remember, right here we have pictures. Anytime in this particular one you see this picture, which is the general image picture, you delete that picture and insert a screenshot or a shot from your phone. Anytime you see brown writing, you're going to replace that writing. You highlight it like this, and then you type in your answer right on top of it. Don't even need to change the color. Whenever you see the trash can in the bottom left, you're deleting that. So in general, the first couple of slides, like this is telling you what you're doing. You're going to delete that slide. This is telling you the grading aspect of it, 30, 30, 30. That's similar to right here where you see 30, 30, 30. So it's walking you through that. As you go down here, StatCrunch information, right now, it'll tell you what you need to know on StatCrunch when we're doing this test. Then right here, this one says part 1. So you have part 1 labeled. Here's part 2, part 2, part 2. Then you can see part 3, part 3. Then you're supposed to go through and you are going to rate yourself. Yeah, I did really good on this assignment. Double thumbs up. I really knew what I was doing. You come down here, type in your answers. Then when you're done, you come to here and it says clean up your slide. Make sure you delete everything, including this slide right here. You download this as a PDF. Once you download it as a PDF, we come back over here and you would then go, well, I have a different thing than you, but you would go to this particular one and you would upload your submission at this point in time. I remind you that this particular assignment, it is due Monday night at 6:30, so it is automatically cut off at 6:30. If it's late after 6:30, sorry, it's late, you get 20% off. It's due at 6:30, and I told you in class how we are communicating that you have that deadline, and I expect you to meet that deadline. Last thing I'm going to do and talk to you, we're going to go back to the beginning of the course. We're going to go to the course home. We're going to go back to our course syllabus, and we remind you of the following. The first thing right here is that you get 20% off only on the questions that are due late. So in other words, it's due Sunday night by midnight, and if you don't turn it in by Sunday at midnight, you have until Tuesday to midnight. For the data analysis for the projects, they're due 6:30 on Monday, and if that doesn't get turned in, then you have until Wednesday at 6:30. You are allowed to use the one late ticket. So in other words, if you get caught up and you just realize, oh crud, I don't get to do it, but that's a one late ticket for submitting free. You have to request that in writing, okay? And you have up to 2 days after the assignment is due. So in other words, during the late period, you could turn it in late for 20-point deduction. But if you're in that late period and you're like, junk, I'm not going to finish it, you can use your late ticket. But once that time frame is up, you are over being able to use your late ticket, and the late penalty is now gone. You are basically just taking a 0 on the assignment. As a reminder, you have one move ticket. In your one move ticket, you basically can move one assignment. You need to let me know by the start of the 3rd class session in order to use it. This is for the people that can plan ahead. You can look ahead at what you want to do. You can move everything except for the final project. That is due when that is due. Okay, so you need to make sure that if you want to move that late ticket, you don't have to let me know next week. You do have to let me know the following week. This is our attendance policy. Remember, I'm not going to go over it, but I'm just going to say you actually have a bonus to start the class, and you lose your bonus if you start missing classes. This is when all of our assignments are due. So for those of you that are planners, you can go through and look at all of this particular part right here, and you know what is due when it is due for the entire semester. This very rarely changes, only like with maybe snow issues or something like that will it change. So you can start looking at this and start thinking ahead to yourself, oh, okay, when do I need to use possibly my move ticket? The only thing, as I said, that cannot be moved is your final project, which is right here. And the final exam is in this particular time slot. That can even be moved if you would like to. But if it is something you have to move, remember, you have to request moving it before the end of the third class session. So wanted to walk you through that entire process there, where everything is at. We'll have some more stuff that we will go over when we are in class next week on how things work. In terms of StatCrunch, next week we're going to really start diving into StatCrunch and show you how the actual computer program works. So make sure at this point in time, do me a favor, click on StatCrunch. When you, if you watch this video and have made it this far, click on StatCrunch, and then it'll pop up this website. You're going to go to the third one right here, or excuse me, to the second one out of the three. You click on the StatCrunch website. This should pop up. It's a single sign-on, so you can see like right up here in the corner, it actually sits down and it shows my Tiffin University. So now I'm in StatCrunch. Okay. We are going to join a group next week. Okay. And I can open StatCrunch right here, but we can also join a group. So next week you're going to actually join a group. So when you click on groups, like there's a bunch of different groups, you are going to be able to look up something like Math 273. And when you do that, you're going to see my name here. So we are actually going to turn around and you're going to be able to join a group here. I'm going to change the group around, but if you look up Math 273, we're going to join a group. And once you do that, it makes it really easy to use StatCrunch. So all that being said and done, that should take you through everything that we did not hit in the course last night. You do have 2 assignments next week. Good luck with them. And if you have any questions, reach out.